Hey, what's up, everybody? Jackson here with Vision Pros Live, first class business to be your best show.com as well. And look at this. Zoom wants to eat Loom for lunch. They just launched Zoom clips. Now, I'm a huge fan of Loom. I'm a big fan of their culture. This rollout was actually quite shoddy, to be honest with you, but I did find it, and I'm curious to see if it actually is going to be that much more effective than using Loom. The thing about Loom that I love is that Loom is super fast and intuitive and easy to use. And so it's something that a company that I've fallen in love with because their support is also amazing. Zoom support is abysmal. So I don't have a lot of good feelings about this particular process happening, but at the same time, it's like, hey, when there's an opportunity of momentum in front of you, take advantage. This is an opportunity for me to talk about the client meetings that I've been having, the Facebook ads that we've launched, and let's dive into some of that. So, all right, so here we are with the update, the announcement. Look at how bad this announcement was. This is like the second version, by the way. First, it says, get started with Zoom Clips. I couldn't find it. I didn't know where to go. It sent me to this page. It's like, I don't want to read all this bologna. Okay, you know what I want to say there. But and so I went away from it and went back to the actual interface. And you have to go into more and then find clips in the list of all the other things that they're trying to do. And their AI system, right? That's quite abysmal as well. I know it sounds like I'm hating on Loom. I like Loom for what it does, but Zoom. I like Zoom for what it does, but I do wish that they had a more intuitive process. I wish that they had a better support system as well. And again, while it's one of the most reliable tools that I have, and I got to give them their flowers with that, it's interesting to see them go after them. So here's a quick script, by the way. Let's dive into that too. So this is one of the things that we've been building out is we've got the ability to help those who are coming onto our podcast jump the line and become a VIP. And in that opportunity, we also want to help them with making sure that they get the right thing out of that experience. They're not coming onto our show because they want to be on our show. They're coming on our show because they want to share their vision with the world. They want to tell people about what it is that they're up to. Why do they want to do that? Well, why they want to do that is because they want to be able to gain an audience, build their own audience. They want to be able to sell from stage. They want people to be able to come and buy from them. They want to be able to tell a story that makes a big impact. And so being on our show is one tiny aspect of being able to do that. But if they're not showing up on Google, if their website doesn't look very good, if they don't know how to use online tools, interact with people like Zoom and like Loom, if they haven't thought through the realities of what they're struggling with or what the number one result is that they want to achieve, well, we have an opportunity to help them in terms of them building momentum and them actually winning at a bigger scale than just being on our show. So, if they currently feel stuck, or losing momentum on certain things, that will know. It's interesting to play with this drawing tool as well that Zoom now offers. A little bit different than their standard tool where in the Zoom arena you can draw, but the drawing stays on the screen. Are you opened? And that makes sense from a live presentation, from a clip presentation standpoint, where I don't necessarily want to fiddle with trying to erase what it is I wrote because I want to stay focused on talking to the people who aren't present with me. People who are in the present have more patience than people who are on a YouTube video. So I promised I would show some things related to ads, and I do want to show that. And a big shout out to Devin Scott, by the way, and Jen Bennett of Get Desky. Both of those individuals have been incredibly helpful counterparts in making sure that these campaigns launch well and making sure that we built the right type of page for Power Launch. And we did and we didn't, and that's to be expected. You don't build things the perfect way from the get-go. You have to continue to optimize the process and make sure that you've accounted for all areas of need that somebody might feel in order to feel safe, in order to know that your offer is a great offer, is something they want to dive into. And if you're a brand new entity they've never heard of before, then you got to make sure that you have the right social proof, entities that you've actually worked with. There's a lot of boilerplate templates out there where people put random companies on here that they don't actually work with or have relationships with. And so people have lost some trust in when it says trusted by. In addition, making sure your case studies stand out and have the right picture of the person, and have the storyline that makes sense and matters to them. Making sure the frequently asked questions are addressed up front so they don't have to jump on a sales call and talk to you about it. Making sure you offer the ability for them to get support, and making sure the entire website is as clean as possible, has a video, and we talked last night, we've got some other copy updates to make to this. So if we go back to the advertising campaign, you'll notice that, and let's expand the results here. We'll go ahead and take a look from the 16th through now, just to make sure all days are accounted for. All right, we're going to update that, and you'll be able to see the total amount spent. The reach, you can pause this at any time. I'm just going to go to certain elements that for us mean a lot. So we've got different cost per results here, but this campaign's not what the campaigns weren't driven around cost per result. The original campaigns were about driving a cost per click. And you can see that some of these campaigns didn't do so well from a cost per click standpoint, click-through rate standpoint. Sorry, I said cost per click. And one of them did really well on the click-through rate. So you'll also notice that our quality scores aren't exactly where we want them to be, but that's okay. It's a brand new campaign and we'll optimize and continue to build. So the management style for these ads, this was based on a sprint and based on a sprint for our brand new public offer for the power launch for free. And so what this gives us is a ton of user data about, okay, how did the page get received by people who are strangers and what do we need to optimize? And so what we saw on that, let's go to the calculator. Based on our desires for scale and what we want to accomplish, our registration rate was super, super abysmal, super low. And on the campaign, as you saw back over there, we only spent how much? Oh, we can go back to this campaign level and take a look. We have spent close to $600 on those two campaigns. So if we go back over here to 600, let's take a look and see. Did we get any registrations? I think we probably got about 2. So we broke records. This is probably the worst performing campaign I've ever done in my career. And ironically, it's for my own brand, right? Woo! And with that, so with 2 conversions, that means that we got a 0.8% conversion rate, 0.7% conversion rate on this campaign. And if you're a mathematician, you're gonna be able to go through this fast. If you're not, I'm not gonna reveal it all today. Like you're gonna have to reach out to a company like myself or others to find out, well, why does this matter and how does this work? You spent $600 and you lost. No, we didn't. That's the amateur way of looking at business. We spent $600 and we got 60,000 business owners to notice our brand for the first time. Now, let's say they're not all business owners, 40,000, 30,000. That's a ton of people to know about our brand for the first time. But there was enough interested that 3,600 at least click through. Oh, I got to adjust that too. If I were to take the average or so, it's probably about 2% with the off balance of the 4% one. That's 1,200 people who were interested enough to say, you know what, I was on Facebook for something else, but I'm going to go ahead and take a look and see more about their offer. We didn't have videos for a lot of these in place. We didn't have the testimonials in place in the beginning. We had the facts, but they weren't written as well as they are now. The headline was different. We were focused a little bit too much on vision, and we should have been focused more on brand. It was focused still a little bit on system. We made some adjustments to make it focus more on team because that's what it's about. And we also had the registration page buried 2 steps further, which is not good from a registration standpoint. And in addition to that, you have to put your phone number in, and that's going to lead people to lie. They're going to put false information in so they can get in and test the system. And while we wanted to do that to test the ability to run a sprint with it, again, it taught us so many things that we can do to optimize. So again, what does that mean? Well, now we start from scratch. Ultimately, we look at this and we say, we don't blame ourselves and say, oh my gosh, I lost $600 like so many entrepreneurs do. That's not responsible business ownership. I start from scratch on the stats and say, okay, we now know that we're getting a cost per view baseline of less than 1 cent. That's huge. We were hoping to get a 3-cent cost per view. So the ad did work to a very tremendous degree. And the click-through rate is decent. It's not what I want, but we can optimize the copy, we can optimize the content. And as social proof forms on the ad, meaning when people like it and comment it and share it, that creates more social proof for people to stop and look at the ad. If the ad has lots of comments and lots of likes, people can't help but be nosy and find out, well, wait, what does everybody else think about this? So learning to allow an ad to run, learning that it's going to build momentum and traction as long as it's built on sound principles and on what it is that you actually do, you want that to continue to run. You want people to keep coming across it. That social proof helps with helping people get off the platform and recognize, I want to see too why everybody else is excited. So the lead conversion rate here, This is a thing that really, really bombed. And now we've already made other adjustments. We're going to continue to make them. And so, watch what happens though if we spend right here based on our known metrics of what should transpire. In fact, the show rate will be higher because we're going to make one more adjustment to make sure that people don't get the chance to book their call until they've shown that they're the types of people who are interested in actually getting help. So, does that change anything? No, because we didn't get enough people past this part of the funnel. Why? Because we didn't spend enough. Watch what happens if we spend $6,000 instead of 600. We just keep investing in this because it's driving the traffic, it's driving the clicks. And I hit that. Look at that. That's interesting. So did we lose money? Yes. We lost money, but we made 600,000 new contacts and 12,000 clicks. And if we, in addition to that, at the same time, start working on optimizing this page and we go from a 0.07 to a 0.09, does it make any difference? Yes, it does. That's now 11 conversions because of the volume that we have here. And we shouldn't be at 0.09%. We have more optimizations that we can make to get to the industry baseline. We get to the industry baseline, we're looking at a 2 to a 5% average lead conversion rate. And so from a landing page. So what our goal is to get to 5%, but let's just look and see, well, what does it do if we get to 2%? If we get to the baseline, the bare minimum, you see what just happened? You see how far that just went? We just went from, 11 conversions to 240 conversions by making that leap. Okay. $124,000 driven on 6,000. Yes, that's exactly what happens when you understand how to do optimizations. But I'm not addicted to the fact that if we don't get the 2%, I'm just going to shut it down. No, I'm going to make more adjustments and updates with my team of 30. We're able to dive in and make different adjustments in there. And if we move from 0.09 to a 0.15, once again, that drives the conversions up enough to where we have more transactions come through. If we go from that point to 0.15, we improve the quality of the testimonials even further. And we get a little bit more clarity. Oh, we get another video on there, or we get multiple clients representing us on video of what we're doing. And that creates a double effect because now we have more social proof. Whoa, okay. Now, even though we're at an abysmal level of lead conversion rate for some reason, and we'll figure that out as we go, now we've got a super profitable campaign where not only are we closing 9 clients, we have 12,000 client opportunities. No organic traffic campaign can drive that type of traction. Yet, what's really cool is all the organic traffic campaigns still exist. I'm still going to be a human being and going to engage with people on my social media. I'm still going to go on podcasts and drive traction there. So this is not the end of the funnel. And this is not only the only types of conversions. These are the direct conversions. What about all the people who decide they just want to call? What about all the people who go to our podcast and want to be on our podcast? What about the people who call our clients and decide they want to work with our clients as they find them? There are so many opportunities that exist in this particular scenario, and it's so important to be aware that we have far more influence than we realize and far more capacity to influence people. It's just not taught very well in the business world. When people are unaware, they need to be intrigued and attracted. When people are intrigued and attracted, they need to be inspired before you invite them to do something. Otherwise, they're going to tell you no, and it's going to mess with your own psychology. Before people are willing to consider and accept an offer, that unless they're really, really unhealthy individuals, they need to be inspired and invited to move forward. And as they're offered the opportunity to move forward, they need to feel your desire and ability to support. And if your support is, nope, you get 1 call per week, nope, we're not going to talk to you, nope, we're going to act like the big dogs, the Googles, and all these companies that have major demand in their favor, we're going to be standoffish like that, we're going to complain, we're going to cry, we're going to try to beg people forward, we're going to try to push people, good luck with your business. You're going to end up in the same bucket as the 90%, 96% of others who fail and the 4% who barely survive. I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to be successful. I want you to look at the principles of success and say, you know what? I actually want to dive into the principles of success. I'm not going to act like I know it all. I'm not going to complain about my funnels. I'm not going to blame my team about it. I'm not going to blame myself about it. I'm going to start looking at companies like First Class Business and say, you know what? What is this company? How do they do things? Um, oh, okay, they got a logo that's kind of funky, but they like this hero concept and they claim to be first class. Their site's loading a little bit slow today. Maybe they have bad website skills. Who knows? It doesn't look like it though. Um, Become a market leader? Hey, Batman, let us be your Alfred. Well, if I understand that, I might be like, that's cute. I can appreciate that. As a fast track, I might consider it. Join our team as their big call to action. That's weird. I don't see many companies do that. Oh, the best companies in the world do that? Yeah, that's exactly what they do. How naked is your leadership? Man, they're edgy. They like to have fun and okay, why be an expert on podcasts? Okay, so he's got a podcast, I guess. They believe in giving. Wow, a bunch of frou-frou people. We drive people away like that. We got testimonials on here. Many hands make light work. Okay, a bunch of information. And let's get to the real point, guys. I'm going to skip right to it for you. If I want to evaluate a company and I want to evaluate a growth partner, I need to go evaluate the team itself. I don't need to worry about the how or the what. I need to worry about the who. Start with who, not how. Great book. I highly recommend reading it. All these wonderful people come together and more. We don't have the ability to fit everybody on this screen, but all of these individuals are excellent team members. They're people who are super well trained. We have an academy to help them learn and grow. We let them learn about things that are related to their lives too, so they love our culture. And it's really cool that Kay, who is one of our team members, who used to work at Google years ago, she found us through GetDesky with Jen. She's an operations manager, a very good one, and she almost cried as she explained, Jackson, I don't know what happened, but like we've been in this for like 4 weeks now, and I love it, and I never knew it was possible to find another Google. And I'm like, what? Cool. And she's like, and I never knew it was possible to do it remotely. I couldn't have even imagined that being possible. And I'm like, wow. Like she worked at Google, had that experience of being in an office with people of Google, and she feels the power of our virtual office as the same. Like, yeah, I built towards it, but I've never worked at Google, so I didn't know if I was actually getting there or not. And so, at the end of the day, it's about appreciating our tools. It's about appreciating our people. It's about being grateful. It's about making sure that we focus on creating a clear vision for people, creating a great culture. If we do that, we'll attract great leadership. And if we attract great leadership around these two principles, a clear vision of where we're going, that's going to attract the market to want to work with us. And for us, what does that look like? Well, we're right here, right now. I'm just trying to expand not only on helping you see the cool tool that's come out that you can use now in Zoom Clips if you don't want to use Loom. You now have more options. I've given you the freedom of that, not because you can't find it on your own, not because I'm like the master of everything. That's just my way of serving. I want to serve others, but I've taken the time to talk about things that are far more important, things that reflect the love, the patience, the persistence, the consistency, and the reliability. When I'm evaluating executives, thank you, Dr. Peter Drucker, right? When I'm trying to figure out what types of people I want to bring into my environment, thank you to the gentleman over at Hiring on Purpose. It's a pretty decent book. Buy it, read the first 25 pages. You can stop reading from there. Come work with a team like mine or Patrick Lencioni as well. Maybe Michael Gerber's program. I don't know. I love both of those authors, but I would go to them first if I had the capital to do so. And I might choose them over me. If I had the capital to do so, that might be the best path for you to go. But I can tell you right now, our programs are right up there with John Maxwell, Patrick Lencioni, and Michael Gerber, because that's who we've studied and incubated under. And tribal leadership, those guys too, absolutely amazing. Rocket Fuel, good book. Great concept, good book. Right? There's a lot of things that you can learn through those processes through the processes that we've learned through. And my hope on this for all entrepreneurs is twofold. One, I hope that you get the support that you need in order to be able to grow with your team the right way. You need to have a team. You need to be the leader to inspire a team to want to work with you. If you're not an inspiring leader, people are not going to want to work with you. So what do? Dive into our Leadership Academy. It's free right now, for crying out loud. Go in there and use that to your advantage to be able to see, okay, I'm going to study up. I'm going to take this seriously. It's not easy. It's a boot camp. It's a workout. You're going to have to work hard. You don't want to work hard, you're not going to be a great leader. Just, you might as well not even try in that case. But I do hope you try. I do hope you see the opportunity to step into your best self, and I hope you find an environment where you can be supported to do just that. That's why we created it for free. In addition, We do not believe in VA relationships. We don't believe in virtual abuse. That's not how you hire. That's not how we help people. We don't hire people on Fiverr and Upwork that have hundreds of 5-star reviews only to realize that they are abused by every single one of the entrepreneurs they work with. And how do I know that? And you might be like, well, I don't. Yeah, more than 70% of the people that I interview for our company who come from foreign countries, especially the Western part of the world, cry in my interviews and say they've never been treated with the type of respect by an American that I treat them with. We have to put an end to virtual abuse. It is not okay to take people for granted. It is not okay to think that we are doing a good job of supporting them by paying them what they ask for when they're so used to asking for less than they need in order to survive, because the entrepreneurs don't want to be responsible and find out about their life. Do your own self-assessment. Do you know your VA's birthday? Do you know your VA's husband or wife's name? Do you know the children and what the children love? Do you know the children's birthdays? Do you know their anniversary? Do you know about the 13th month payment? Do you know about what they really want to do? Not how much can they do for you, and not what did they get done today. And did they get it done at a sophisticated level, even though your communication around what you want is awful because you're not a copywriter, you're not a project manager, you're not a strategist, you're great at whatever you do as an entrepreneur. But take the pressure off yourself. Stop treating people that way and stop trying to manage when you don't have that level of experience with management. If you don't do that, you're going to continue to hurt people. You're going to continue to hurt yourself, and you're going to continue to not end up with results. And you're going to launch campaigns that are far more shoddy than the campaign we just saw launched by Zoom with clips. They have the budget to make failure decisions like that. They have the income to be able to justify getting that wrong. I'm guessing you don't. So instead of trying to do the guesswork and figure it out by yourself and falling victim of the solopreneur route that leads you to the title that real business owners put on you, wantrepreneur, stop trying to do it all by yourself. There's no I in team. And the person in team that's all about me finds himself off the team very, very fast, or hurt in the process, and perhaps becoming somebody who's a control freak and moves into narcissism. I don't think you want either of those options. My hope is that you'll find a team that loves you. You'll learn how to exercise patience. You'll learn how to be persistent and get your things done. You'll learn how to be consistent and show up every day. You'll learn how to be reliable and do the things that you're best at, and find the people who are going to do the things you don't know how to do. By the way, we're right here. I hope to see you on the inside if that inspires you. I'm an optimistic realist. Life is real, life is hard, but at the same time, we can be optimistic when we dive into the variables and say, I'm going to make these changes as a leader. We're going to make these changes as a team, and we're going to move these mountains together. I hope to see you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.